Alright, we did it. We're at red. Go.
Speaking of my mother, Brimstone Roundup. One in a red enchantment. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a mercenary plot for 3. I think this is probably bad.
Whenever you cast your second spell each turn. Hey, this is... You were talking about things making 1/1s for 2 mana. This is it. You pay 2 mana once, and then it does it for free. If you plot it, presumably it does it also the turn that you play it. That's why it costs more to plot it. If this plotted for 2, I'm probably into it. Plotting for 3 is
I think this
sus.
is a D+.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
you might be right. It's pretty slow.
It's really slow, and you basically have to have... Like, this goes in that, like, earlier when I was talking about the blue-red dream about this crazy, like, spell engine.
Control-y spell engine thing.
And limited to, like, have a reliable... enough reliable card draw.
I'm off it.
It's bad.
I'm off it. Yeah, I agree. It's like a D. Caught in the crossfire, double red, instant, spree. Caught in the crossfire. Don't get caught up in the crossfire! Everyone's gonna do that. Deals two...
From the ears.
Deals 2... I think that was actually pretty good. Deals 2 damage to each outlaw creature. So this one just does damage to outlaw creatures. Or it does 2 damage to each non-outlaw creature. So for 4, it does 2 damage to everything at instant speed. So an instant pyroclasm for 4. Or for 3, it can be a one-sided pyroclasm, potentially. This seems okay.
I think this is okay.
This is okay. It's like a C++. If you're all outlaws, it gets better a little bit, right?
Yeah, probably. I think in the right deck, this is for sure a C++. I think it, on average, it's more like a C-.
Yeah, I think that's good analysis. Oh, this art is awesome.
It's a cunning Yodi.
Yeah, Wile-E. I bet it's chasing a Roadrunner. What are your thoughts?
It's not, I'm upset with it. It's a cunning coyote, 1 in a red, creature coyote 2/2, haste. Whenever cunning coyote enters the battlefield, another gets +1/+1s and gain haste until the end of turn, and you can plot it for 2. Yeah, I think this is really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You're drafting every one of these you can get in like a very aggressive deck.
How often are you playing this versus plotting it? If you have, that's an interesting question. Because a 2/2 haste.
Interesting question.
A 2/2 haste on 3 isn't great. I guess if you're going first, you're probably plotting it, right?
Yes.
If you're going second, you're probably just playing it because it's probably going to get eaten by like a 3/3, or it has a chance to. I don't know. Maybe you're always plotting it.
Yeah, maybe you might always be plotting.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the meta is.
Yes, we'll have to see, but I think it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, the less 3 health butts on turn 3 that are playable, the better this card is. Again, just love the art. So cool. What are we thinking? I'm thinking C+, borderline B- if the meta shakes out right. It's at least a C+, right? I think it's at least a C+.
I think it's a C+, yeah.
It's at least a C+.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe it. At least a C+. Deadeye Duelist. 1 in a red for a 1/3 reach. Sneaky reach. Pay 1 tap, deal 1 damage to target opponent. Crime out of 10. Is what this card reads.
Yep.
Here is your crime engine. Here is your crime engine. The Deadeye Duelist.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the thing that your parents fear at night.
And this is decent reach too. I think this is C to C+, and like if you're in the deck that really has all this passive crime stuff, you are into picking this up.
Yeah, and I'm someone who loves a card that can just deal 1 damage and you can sink a mana into for fun. It's like pretty fucking good blocker.
Here's the craziest thing I would say about this. I can see myself first picking this third pack. If I have Crime's energies, I can see it.
You hit a bomb with red in it, and you're already like, yeah.
And you already have several Crime cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it can be a C+.
See one of these in your deck, and it's common, so you're probably gonna see more than one. But like,
yeah, if you don't have one and you really want one, then it's like a C+ and first pickable. If you really get there.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this is for sure you.
It was meant to be.
It was.
Yeah. Hail our Lord and Savior, Demonic Ruckus. One in a red enchantment aura. It couldn't be a better name card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has menace and trample. Demonic Ruckus is put into the graveyard from your battlefield draw card.
I would just want to enter in the other Discord channel, just be like, "What demonic ruckus is this?"
Yeah. What is going on in here? I think this is deceivingly good because not only does it replace itself, but like in an aggressive deck, like we've been talking a lot about, like +1/+1 isn't a ton, but like the fact that it gives menace and like if you're smacking into them. And you're like, slam this on a 2/2 even, force them to trade into it on turn 3, let's say, and they use some removal on it. You're getting removal out of them. You're drawing a card. Like, I don't know. Like, I think this is pretty good.
I let you get your little thing out of the way because the succinct way to say it is this card is nuts. I think this card is nuts.
I think this. Yeah, I thought it was very good, or I thought it was good. I did not think it was nuts.
I think it's nuts because like, you play a 2-drop, they play a 2-drop. Cool game, bro. Demonic Ruckus on my 2-drop. You can't block it. It's now a 3/3 Menish trample, and when it dies, I redraw. Like, how are they dealing with that? This card is silly.
So, I mean, do you think it's? What do you think? I was gonna say it's a C+.
Like, something foolish in me wants to say B+. Like, I think this card is...
Okay.
I think this card is silly. I don't know really why it has plot, but... so, the whole thing with the...
I didn't even say that. Yeah, it has plot for...
I don't really know what that does. The whole thing with these cards is you can't...
What do you mean? That makes this so much better, right?
Why? No, because you don't want your opponent to see this coming. The whole point is you cannot play this when your opponent has open mana. You cannot play this if your opponent has open mana with any chance of having removal. So like plotting it is pretty suboptimal.
I know we're here for limited, but like at the same time, I will say this card by itself in the mini Naya Aura commander decks is the silly business.
Yeah, and Naya Auras.
Yeah, Naya Aura has been something they have been trying to do, like, because I like enchantment decks, as you know, and I feel like I've seen so many Naya adjacent Aura commanders. So, like,
yeah, I mean in Fallout they just printed dog meat in Fallout, right? It's Naya.
There was dog meat in Fallout. There was one before that, and then the first one they made was the one for the D&D set that everyone hated, but turned out to be broken. Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate had the first one that was Naya. That was Aura Commander.
Yeah. I think I remember that. But anyway, this card. Yeah, I think this card in limited is pretty sick. I'm willing to go B on it. You just don't play an open mana. You want to be aggressive. If you're an aggressive deck, I think this card's actually unfair. Like, this might be a B+. Like, wait, it's +1/+1 menace and trample draw card? That's silly. It's silly.
If you're in a purely aggressive, just a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a purely aggressive deck, you have straight gas in your hand.
Yeah.
You have a turn 1, 2, 3, 4 play, basically, assuming you're drawing a mana, considering having that many cards in your hand. Like, are you just plotting this turn 1 anyway, just because it's so broken? Like, you play it turn 1.
Maybe. If I have the 2/2 haste, I am.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying, like, maybe you play it anyway because it's like, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, so you could that's actually an interesting point. You could just hold it in exile until
Yeah,
they tap out. I guess is
right.
an idea. I guess yeah, I didn't realize that you could actually just plot this on turn one. Maybe it'd create an interesting tension in the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Although
saying. Like,
I will
even if
say
they can see it, like,
if I have this in my deck, I'm definitely prioritizing one drops even more than normal because the play pattern is 2 drop, 3 drop this, and then you're gonna have one more mana, right? Assuming you didn't plot it. So then, like, if you can 3 drop this and a 1 drop, that would be pretty brutal. Especially if that 1 drop is like a mercenary or the guy that sacks into a mercenary, because then you
yeah,
could pump this.
but what I'm saying, like,
Do you plot this on one?
this
Probably.
card is making maybe the biggest ruckus when it is played turn one, if you've got the shit to back it up.
I mean, if specifically the 2/2 haste for 2 with this is hilariously perverted.
Yeah.
Like this on
yeah,
one,
yeah.
3/3 menace, haste, trample. When it dies, I draw a card. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this card's good.
Yeah,
We
good
said
looking, buddy.
B probably. All right. You had that one, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
let you do
yeah,
your little,
yeah.
your little rant. Discerning Peddler, 1 and a red for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. This is what I want to play the off-color rare for my Black Green Sun Zenith. This is the bear that rummages me. I like this card, honestly. I just like this card.
Yeah,
I think we've
yeah.
seen
I
versions of
think
this that are fine.
when I first started playing limited, I felt like cards that did this were shit, and have so much more respect for this kind of
Yeah.
card because being able to filter and
Dump that land, baby.
yeah, yeah, but like even to be like you have an insane hand besides one card, but you have this in it,
Yeah,
or
you
even
feel
two
great.
cards, you feel so much
Or like you keep this in a 2-lander every time, right? Because you're like, if
better.
I brick a land on
Yes,
2 draws, I'm
yes,
just discarding something, right? And then you really have
absolutely.
higher odds to get a land. So yeah, I like this at like C. I still think it's like a C, maybe a C plus, but I'm happy to play 2 of these in
I would
every red deck
I,
probably.
I would never call this a C plus, but I
Solid
think
a
this is
C. Yeah.
a solid C.
Bread and butter, baby. It's a discerning
Uh,
peddler. That's where you get your bread. Look,
yeah,
I bet he's got some bread and butter right back here and selling there.
yeah. A C is something I define as something I'm
Yeah.
happy to have in my deck. Not
A
a B.
C is something that you're So that's why this is I like a C plus is something that you're like really interested in. A C you're like good with
Yeah,
playing. A C minus you're like it's okay. This is right on the border of C plus for me. Like
yeah, absolutely.
I do actively want 2 of them. Oh, I get an Oh, this looks interesting. Explosive derailment. Is this the best red common? Let's see. 1 red mana, instant spree. For 2 more mana, it deals 4 damage to target creature. For 2 mana, it destroys target artifact. So 3 mana to deal 4 damage at instant speed and commit a crime. B.
B plus.
B plus even. Okay. Yeah.
B
Very
plus
very good.
B plus because every fucking set, if you're in a color and it has removal, you're probably taking it. It's good removal. 4 damage for 3 is fine.
I don't think I think 3 mana for an unconditional exile is B plus. I do think this is very good. It might play out to be a B plus because of crimes, but yeah, this is probably the best
It,
common in red.
yeah, it's an instant.
Yeah.
It's an instant.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yep. There you go.
Ferocification. Ferocification.
Ferocification. Yeah. Look at that
Red
beaver.
enchantment. It's obviously a groundhog. I'm sorry. We're both idiots. It's obviously a prairie dog.
It is a prairie
Um,
dog.
It's an enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Target creature you control gains menace and haste. I think cards like this are really slow and limited because it's your turn 3 play.
Yeah. It's a lot
Um,
though. +2/+0.
it's a lot. It's a lot, and I agree with you that it is a lot, but I do think that it is slow, and like I think this is better as like a turn 3 or turn 4 or 5 play when you're like
Here,
trying to finish someone off.
I want to ask it to you this way: how would you feel about an equipment that was plus? It costs 3 plus 2 plus O, equip 0.
I mean, obviously, that's pretty good.
That's the floor of this, right? That's
Yeah,
like the
you're
worst
right.
the worst case scenario for this card,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Except it doesn't last during your opponent's turn. But
Which is
yeah,
big.
I don't I don't know. I really don't know what I think about this card, to be honest, because Menace and Haste can also be really good, but
Yeah,
it's slow.
honestly, I'm excited about the Menace Haste thing. Um,
If
yeah,
you
but
have a
like,
way to like shit
I
out
don't.
tokens consistently, but not you're not like going wide, but you always have one
Right.
token around. But if this is also
Yeah,
like a slow card because it doesn't really do anything. I guess it pumps something even the first turn, which is pretty good.
yeah. If you're shitting out 1/1s and you're turning them into 3/1s constantly, that's pretty fucking brutal. Because
Yeah, I don't know what
think
to think about
about
this
it.
card. I'm gonna start it at a C and just C.
I think it's pro uh, I think it's probably like a C minus or a D plus.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a build around really. It's just like I don't know, maybe it's good
Yeah.
enough, but probably not. Gila Corsair. 2 in a red for a 4/2 lizard mount. We got back to this is the first mount we've seen in forever. There were no mounts in
Yeah.
black, were there at all?
No, zero.
When I forgot it was even a mechanic. Whenever Gila Corsair attacks while saddled, exile the top card of your library, and then until the end of your next turn, not even this turn, you may play that card. And it only saddles for 1. And it's a 4/2 for 3. So 4/2 for 3 is probably a C plus already in aggressive decks. Um, C to C plus. Especially the fact that it's the end of your next turn and it's a play, not cast, so it can get lands. I mean, that is really good.
Yeah.
So what is this, like a B?
Yeah, I think it's a B minus. I mean,
I mean, it basically draws a card. Like, that might as well say draw a card. It's very close to drawing
yeah,
a card
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
it
It's
attacks.
very close to drawing your card.
God
Um,
forbid they can't block it once. You put this enchantment on it and give it menace and trample. And draw a card.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yeah. Maybe,
So,
maybe it's just a B.
Saddling 1 is huge because any mercenary can do it.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Saddling one is massive.
yeah. So yeah, I think this is like a B.
I mean, I very
I
much
love
like
it.
this card.
I love it.
I'm windmill slamming this every single time in draft.
Yep. Oh, your go. This is wild.
Hell Spur Brute. I am taken aback by this art.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable.
it's weird.
4 in a red, creature Minotaur Mercenary. 5/4. Affinity for Outlaws.
Affinity for Outlaws.
Trample.
I can hear the developers laughing in the background.
I mean,
Affinity for
in
Outlaws.
red black, this is consistently costing you 2 or 3.
3. Somewhat
3
consistently.
for
3.
sure. But
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Imagine playing a 5/4
Spoilers.
trample for 3.
Here, hot off the presses. A 5/4 trample for 3 is pretty good. Close the presses.
Holy shit.
Yeah, B plus.
Yeah, this is a B plus for sure.
You want to be in red black, and then you're playing 5/4 tramples for 3, and your opponent hates the game.
Yeah, and then
That's the
and then
summary.
you're exposing how broken you are to all people around you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you do have to go 1 drop, 2 drop, literally to pull that off, right? You have to outlaw on 1 and 2 specifically to hit this on 3, so it's not outrageous. But again, that 1/1 for 1 that sacks it, like we were over the moon about it. It's only gotten better from the stuff that we've seen.
Yes.
All right, highway robbery. 1 in a red for a sorcery. You may discard a card or sack a land. If you do, draw 2 cards. I don't hate that, and I can plot
I
it.
like this.
Sure. I don't hate plotting this either.
Yeah.
Plotting this is actually really interesting when you draw it off the top of your deck and you still want lands. Like, let's say you're an aggressive deck and you, like, dump your hand or whatever but you still only have like 4 or 5 lands, I could see plotting this instead of playing it and sacking a land to go down to 4, specifically to see if I draw a land, right? Or something that I don't care about that's worse than a land.
Yeah.
Because then you can probably double spell that turn as well. Yeah, I think this is good.
This is for sure good.
Yeah, this is for sure good. What is this like? It's still like not much more than a C, right? You're
No,
still not really going up a
I'm
card.
just not. I'm happy to see it though.
Yeah, I think it's like a C. Might be better. Is this you? Yeah.
Irascible.
Irascible, I
Wolverine.
think.
Oh,
so.
irascible.
What
What is
irascible?
irascible? Oh, Jesus. Irascible Wolverine. 2 and a red. Creature Wolverine. 3/2. When irascible Wolverine enters the battlefield, exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. Plot 2 and a red.
I guess it is a 3/2 for 3, so not asking a lot of you, but it's a little awkward.
Yeah,
It
I
has
mean,
to be this turn.
I think this is a C minus.
I mean, the idea is you plot it, right? You plot it, and then it's basically a free draw. Like, especially if you hit a land.
This is a D plus.
No. You are trending the incorrect direction, friend.
Really?
Yeah, you just plot this. You plot this, and then it's a 3/2 for 3 that draws you a card.
I feel like everything we've seen in red though wants to be aggressive, and like
This one's
I'm
not.
not spending my turn 3 doing
This one's
this.
not. This is not. I mean, it's also a 3/2 for 3, which isn't terrible in an aggressive deck. Like it's in an aggressive deck, a 3/2 for 3 is like a C minus, but it's playable with no text. But this doesn't even have no text in that because, like, let's say later in the game, you have 5 mana, right? You're ripping up the top because you're an aggressive deck. You're happy to see this. Maybe you rip a 2-drop as well, right? You just like
I will,
3-drop
say,
and a 2-drop.
in my wet dream of a red blue deck.
Yeah, this is great in red blue. It's good. I think this card's good, actually. I would say in certain decks this can get up to a C plus.
Yeah, fair.
In certain decks,
I mean, late game you are thrilled to see this.
yeah, you're thrilled to see this. It is not terrible on turn 3 as a 3/2. It's playable. So yeah, I think this is like a C plus. Honestly, I like this card. I'm plotting it like vast majority of the time though. So that's the best way to say this. If you are interested in using your turn 3 to plot, if that's the sort of deck you are, and somehow that deck is red, here you go.
The problem with that card for me on turn 3 is I cannot hit a land because I've played.
That's why I just said you're plotting it. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah. I'm saying like that. That's why I wasn't more excited about it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why it doesn't look good. But then it's just a 3/2 for 3, which is still medium. Iron Fist Pulverizer. 4 and a red for a 4/5 reach. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, it deals 2 damage to target opponent, not a creature. If that said creature, interesting. You also get to scry 1. Still, replaceable common 5-drop out of 10. I like this one better than the black one, probably. The one that had indestructible when you committed a crime. I like this because it has reach, so it keeps me from dying from flyers, and it gives me reach and dealing damage to my opponent's face, and it gives me some card selection. Versus getting chump blocked by 1/1 mercenaries like the black one would be.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you.
yeah, I think that this is like the higher side of a C for like all of these are like C minuses, and I think this one's like a C, maybe even a higher C. I think it's pretty good. Like a five health for 5. You know where? Like if this thing was a 5/5, it would seem kind of crazy, right? It's not that far away from a 5/5.
My problem with cards like this is on turn 5 when I am playing in a deck that has red in it. Do I have 2 spells to cast?
Yeah, you would love this because this is made for red blue. This is made for red blue.
Yeah, but that's not like I feel like the strongest subset almost ever.
Is it can be quite good. I mean, we saw some ridiculous Is it cards at Uncommon. I think Is it's going to be quite good.
Fair.
I think Is it's going to be quite good.
Yeah, fair.
And we want it to be, so.
Yeah, I would, yes.
You, right?
Longhorn Sharpshooter, 2 and a red. Minotaur Rogue, 3/3. Once again, basically all the red and black cards are
Outlaws.
Outlaws of
Yep.
some sort. Reach when Longhorn Sharpshooter becomes plotted, it deals 2 damage to any.
So very good, right?
Yeah, so it's just very good. So it's
Very good.
yeah. I mean, I'm all about this.
Yeah,
All about
this is making flyers worse.
Yeah.
This thing
By itself.
hoses flyers because like plotting it's probably going to shoot a flyer, and then when it's unplotted it's a 3/3 reach, which is probably going to trade for a flyer. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 and a stick. This is the new build your own Flame Tongue Kevu. So it is any
Yeah.
target, so it can't even go face.
Yeah, I think this card is just really good. I mean, even like you're saying with face, like even if you're just an extremely aggressive deck and you're just throwing everything at their face, and turn 4 you just slam 2 damage into the face, turn this up the next turn,
Yeah, it still doesn't
drop
have
the
haste.
2/2 haste.
Yeah, drop the 2/2 haste to give this haste.
Yeah.
Also put the enchantment on the 2/2 haste because it's turn
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
Yeah, what is this? Is this like a B minus? I don't think it's a B plus.
I think it's a B.
B.
I think this is B worthy.
Yeah, I agree. Mega. Oh no, it's Mage Bane. I was hoping it's Mega Bane. Mage Bane Lizard. 1 in a red, brother. For a lizard.
I love the idea that this flame that's coming out of his mouth is lit. If it was doing that on you, you'd be like, stop.
Yeah,
Like,
quit. I like how this is like kind of a throwback to Flame Tongue Kevu, and then this has a Flame Tongue.
and this is just maybe flame
Yeah. It's a 1/4 for 2. That's interesting. Lizard. When a player casts a non-creature spell, it deals damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. What? That's hateful. What a weird card. What a weird red 2-drop. Defensive stacks. I'm struggling to evaluate from change in theme. I mean, it seems good if you're in a defensive deck. That, you know,
Even in
weird.
an aggressive deck, though, I think I'm okay with playing one of these.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, 1/4 for 2 is quite a bit.
1/4 for 2 is weird and wild. And
Yeah, that's interesting.
not upset about it.
Yeah, this is at least a C plus. I think it's a C plus.
Yeah.
I think it's a C plus. I think there could be like a weird red black like reach deck because we've seen several things that can kind of like ping in red black, right, and are slow. Maybe even red blue. Who knows? It's interesting. All right, let's see.
Mine Raider, 2 and a red. It is a rogue, 3/2 trample. When Mine Raider enters the battle, if you control another outlaw, create a treasure.
Yeah, you're into this if you're in red black. I feel like a lot of these high outlaws energy cards are like very almost like pseudo red black cards. There might be a lot of outlaws everywhere. I mean, this just seems great, right? Let's just assume this is making a treasure. It's great.
I mean, I think this is another one for me that's just it's a solid C.
Yeah, I think it might be a C plus if it's always making a treasure. Yeah,
I think you can pretty consistently make a treasure, but I still think it's C+.
So there was that green card, right? That was the 3/3 trample for 2 and a green. When at ETB'd, you like gained 2 life and gained a treasure, or something like that. And that card was like good. It ended up probably not being a B plus. So yeah, this is just like it's like a C borderline C plus. The trample isn't irrelevant either.
No, it's not.
Outlaw's Fury, 2 and a red instant. Because of something like this, creatures you control gain +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control an outlaw, exile the top card. What? Until end of your next turn, you may play it?
It says next turn.
First of all, this is your whole team gets +2/+0 for 3?
Yeah, creatures.
And until the end of your next, and it almost draws you a card in an aggressive deck. That's basically a draw you a card because it's going to be a land or something cheap. You're probably still going to be able to play 2 spells next turn if you hit a land off of it. This seems really good. This is like
I think,
shockingly good.
yeah, I think this is much
I
better
don't
than I could have expected.
Yeah, this is one of the best of these sort of effects we've seen. And again, does literally make the trample on this far more relevant. And the treasure.
Yeah.
Both of those. Like, imagine you play this on 3, and then again that 2/2 haste that I know is an uncommon that we keep talking about. But like the 2/2 haste on 4, and then also have this up because you have 5 mana
Yes.
because of the treasure token.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that would be upsetting.
God. Yeah, this is like a C plus. And I mean, I can't imagine
I
this
think this
much better than that.
I think this is either a solid C or a C plus.
I think this is a C plus. That's gonna be the stand I'm taking. Stand C plus. It's great.
Yeah.
Maybe, and it might play like I win the game B minus in the right really aggressive deck.
Oh,
All right, you're good. This
prickly pear.
it's pretty good.
All I want in life at this point is to have cacti guns.
Yep. Me too.
2 in a red, plant mercenary, 2/2. When prickly pear enters the battlefield, create a mercenary.
What more do you need?
Yeah, C plus.
How about that? How about that black enchantment now that does the drain every time a outlaw dies? Any outlaw.
Yeah, any outlaw.
Those are needlers, by the way, right? Surely those are needlers.
Oh, for sure.
That's just green skin needlers.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I'd prefer these.
Yeah,
I do love that in his back arms when he's holding them up, they just looks like corn on the cob.
yeah, it is. This corn on the and they have 4 arms too. These guys are kind of badasses. They're
Have you not been seeing these cacti?
yeah. They're adorable when they're small.
Yeah.
But back on this card, this is a C plus, all the way around. Obvious C plus. We saw the opposite of this in the current set. The white card that's a 1/1 that makes a 2/2, and then it can pump the 1/1, or the 1/1 can pump the 2/2. This is like almost the exact opposite, but it's great. I think it's actually. I mean, there was detective's energies in the other one, and that one did, I think, make a detective. Or wait, no, maybe it made a spirit and it was a detective. I don't know. I think this one's even better because it makes 2 mercenaries.
Yeah, I agree.
2 outlaws.
This is for sure better.
Quick draw. 1 red. Instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains first strike until end of turn. Creatures target opponent control lose first strike and double strike. Weird conditional text.
That is a weird conditional text.
So normally this is +1/+0 in first strike for 1 red. So this is, I guess, like a little bit better. But I'm never into these. I guess if you're really aggressive, you could justify playing 1, maybe. D plus.
Yeah. These effects are never.
Oh, I know this card. You read it.
Quilled Charger, 3 in a red. Porcupine Mount, 4/3. Whenever Quilled Charger attacks, while saddled, it gets +1/+2 and gains menace. And it saddles for 2.
So it's a 5/5 menace when you saddle it for 2. And it's a 4/3 for 4 straight up.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously good.
I think this is just a solid. I think this is a solid C plus. I definitely want 1, maybe 2 of these.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's for sure a C plus. Is it a B minus?
No, I don't think it's a B minus.
No.
I think this is the high end of your aggressive deck. You have like 2 of these in the high end of your aggressive deck that converts your 2/2 into like making this a 5/5 menace threat.
Yeah, fair.
Which a 5/5
in an
menace.
aggressive deck.
A 5/5 menace threat, ironically, can trade off in such a way that it makes your 2/2 a threat again, right? Like your 2/2 is not a threat. This can trade off a 4/4 that then makes your 2/2 a threat. So yeah, I like it. I think it's like a C plus. And it's just a 4/3 for 4. Like that's not. I'm not hating that. Reckless Lackey, 1 red mana for a Goblin Pirate. First strike haste 1/2. And you can sacrifice it to draw a card and make a treasure token for 2 in a red.
Weird.
First to the fray, first to the pay. This seems pretty good. I want to be into Outlaws, and I want to be aggressive. But a first strike haste 1/2 for 2, like this gets pumped very well. Like this is the sort of thing that makes me more interested in that enchantment, right? The +2/+0 every turn sort of enchantment. Like I'm pretty down with this.
Yeah, if you have that enchantment, which I would never slam it early, but like the problem is like I don't feel like there's a ton of
Ooh,
synergies
ooh, yeah, there is.
besides that enchantment.
No, all mercenaries, all mercs pump this.
Yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah, this might actually be. And then if you're not doing the thing, you can just cash it in to ramp and redraw.
Yeah.
This might actually be a problem. Like this might be the one
right.
drop where people are like,
right.
"Oh my god, it's impossible to beat aggro."
Mercenaries by themselves.
Yeah, make this a real pain in the ass. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Please don't ruin the meta, reckless lackey. Don't be that one drop that you can't beat. Yeah, I don't know. C. Now I'm up to a C+ on this guy. Do you really want? If you're doing the mercenary thing, I think this is a C+.
If you're in red, you seem to be doing the mercenary thing.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, do you want to go lower on it? Or are you gonna? Am I gonna sucker you up to the C+ on this one drop?
No, it's a C. But
okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Here it is. Here's the continuation of the art. You get to do it. We had the coyote.
Roadrunner. One in a red. Honestly offensive they didn't call it a Roadrunner bird.
It is a bird.
But it's a Roadrunner and a bird. It's a 2/2 haste protection from coyotes.
Yeah, you see what they did there? It's resilient.
Pay 3. Resilient Roadrunner can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. Interesting.
I think this is pretty good.
Killing the coyote every time, which is funny to me.
I think this is great.
Yeah, it's obviously good.
It's a C+, right? It's just like a really solid C+.
Yeah.
It's a 2/2 haste that then can be basically unblockable. Maybe it's like a C. It's a pretty solid C+.
Yeah. If you're an aggressive deck and you're going first, holy moly, you love this.
Yeah, I'm playing 3 of these happily.
Yeah,
maybe 4. I don't know how many. I'm playing of them a lot. Return the Favor. This templating looks like a rare. Double red, instant. Pay 1 additional. Copy target instant spell, sorcery spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okay. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. That's some... This is some sort of commander text on an uncommon. So that takes a lot of mana. I guess you can copy your opponent's spells, which is interesting. So the trick here, right, is that they play a removal and you pay 4 and you copy it and retarget theirs and just wait, what is that, a 3 for 1? You take their... That's a 3 for 1. This 3 for 1's removal spells for 4 mana, right? Because they used a removal spell. You're taking that, copying it, and then killing 2 of their creatures. So that's a 3 for 1.
That's brutal.
Yeah, so this is a B+.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're 3 for 1ing your opponent's removal. It's situational. But it's such a dumb blowout.
I think it's situational enough to be a B.
Mate, this is the groan test. This is 1,000,000,000% the groan test. You cast removal and your opponent 3 for 1s you in red as a response to your removal. You're just conceding, right?
Yes, but to counter that, like if you're in red, when do you have 4 mana up?
You're casting instant removal in red, black, red, blue.
We've seen a lot of aggression.
Yeah, we've seen red, blue. I mean, there's
you're out of gas by turn 4 or 5, or maybe your board state is so insane from what we've seen by turn 4 that you're just like, I'll hold this up.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I agree. It's pretty situational, but man, 3 for wanting. Like, here's the thing: okay, so the B plus is probably hyperbolic. Like, I think on the surface, this is like not that insane, but it's the ultimate grown test because like sometimes obviously this does nothing and you're like kind of regretting it. But if you catch your removals, your opponent's removals, this is the card people are going to hate losing to the most, right? You cast removal, you lose the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of it from that perspective. It's
OP,
extremely strong.
This card will have a extremely high rate of immediate concedes.
Yeah, as well it should.
Yeah.
Yeah, silly. I don't like it. It's like a B or something, whatever. All right, you're good.
Rodeo Pyromancer, 3 and a red. Human Mercenary, 3/4. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, add double red.
Well, that's an interesting card.
I wish you could plot this.
Does this have potential in older formats?
That is what I immediately was thinking towards because like that's it costs 4 is the problem.
So in a what is it
And it's
called?
only your
Pauper.
first spell each turn.
In Pauper, this is probably pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. In Popper,
I don't know.
see.
I don't know about Pauper, but in limited,
I
this
know
is
very little about Popper.
this is also pretty good in limited, right?
Yeah. So
You like double, but you're really only using it to double spell. This works on your opponent's turn too.
Yeah, the fact that it works during your opponent's turn is insane. But I think specifically it being able in an aggressive deck to just allow you to play this turn 4 and then maybe shit 2 more things out that you otherwise wouldn't on turn 5 is pretty nuts.
Or like it works really good with removal, right? Because like on turn 5, it lets you play something and remove something, that you wouldn't get a huge tempo swing. Yeah. So I think this is like a C, borderline C plus, could turn into a C plus. We'd have to see how it gets utilized, right? But
yeah,
could be a C plus. All right, Scale Storm Summoner sounds dragony. 2 and a red for a 3/3 human warlock. Uncommon. When it attacks, you make a 3/1 red dinosaur token if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. So it's a 3/3 for 3. It's not asking much of you. And if on turn 4 you happen to play something with 4 power before you attack with this, then it also makes a 3/1. That doesn't go away. It just makes a 3/1 for free. It's not even attacking. It's just a free 3/1 sitting there. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, this
like
text is very strong.
It's green-red.
B. It's obviously green-red, but like, I mean...
I think it's a B. I think a 3/1 is on average probably slightly better than a card in limited. So this says if you can manage to shit out 4 power on turn 4, which green-red can probably do, hell, you could even pump this thing. You're just getting a card when it attacks. And God forbid...
You have to attack with it.
What if you have a pump? So here's the interesting thing. This is going to make you play a pump at sorcery speed, right? We haven't seen green yet. But let's say there's a pretty strong pump. Like, let's say they have the +3/+3 and trample for 2, like they do in the current set. Right, on turn 4, you're just like, play it pre-combat. I have a 6/6 trample. Attack you. Make it 3/1. And play a 2-drop or something.
Yeah, that could be brutal. It could be brutal.
I think this is like a B.
We haven't seen green yet, so it's hard to say. But
in green-red.
Like, obviously, red.
Well, we've seen like the 4/3 for 4. Think of just the way that works with that. The 4/3 for 4 that saddles 2, because this makes the thing that can saddle it.
Yeah, but there's not been many.
Yeah, that was there was another one too, wasn't there? There was another 4/3 for 4 where I was like, that's not asking much of you either. I think there's been a couple, and they were commons.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
So I think if you draft this, you definitely want that red 4/3 for 4 because it works so well with this.
To your credit, it is a common. So.
Yeah. All right, you're good.
Scorching Shot, double red. Scorching Shot does 5 damage to target.
Well, that's a bargain.
Sounds like removal I want.
Yeah, you better be in red, but boy,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is interesting. Like picking a double red sorcery card early is an interesting proposition, right? Because you are getting in bed with red,
Yeah.
especially now that packs are slightly smaller. So I do think that actually hurts this quite a bit. Like the gulf between this being 1 in a red and this being 2 red is large. Like if this is 1 in a red, this is probably like a B plus, right? Probably a B plus. I'm gonna say this is a B minus.
Yeah, because there's no way you can play this in a 3-color deck.
That's for sure. And you kind of need to be base red. So like it's really strong, but restrictions just because of how less interested I am in first picking it. All right, take for a ride. 2 in a red. I bet this is going to be controlling your opponent creature. Take for a ride has flash as long as you've committed a crime. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. It has flash. Sorcery with flash. Not being able to be cast as an instant. And this is a crime, ironically. Does this take a card out of combat?
I mean, if you do it before their turn, yeah.
No. I think it does. So I think the reason the flash part is crazy is so if you have another removal spell, let's say they attack with 3 creatures. If you have another instant removal spell, you shoot one of their creatures. This has flash. You take control of the second one, untap it, and block the third one with it.
Yeah, but you need at least 5 mana to do that.
Yeah. Well, or you could commit a crime some other way. Like if you have the white tapper, right? Like you tap down one of their creatures, you still need 5 mana even in that way.
Yeah. But like,
But that's kind of a blowout.
Yeah.
That's kind of a but that's one mode of it. The other mode of it is just the typical really aggressive one, right?
Yeah, but like, how good is that ever?
It's really good if you have a bunch of sack outlets, and I feel like we've seen quite a few sack outlets in black.
Yes.
That's
to your credit, that is fair. The sacking thing is very relevant because you can also just attack in with their thing and then immediately sack.
Yeah. The hint is this is an uncommon too. It's an uncommon and it costs 3, which is as aggressive as they get with it. I think this extra flash mode of being able to like really blow out combat makes this a lot better than we've seen.
Is it a B minus then? Or a C
No,
plus?
I think it could be a C plus. It's C plus in the sack decks. Maybe even a B minus if you have a ton of sack just because of that extra modality. Neat though. Arts baller.
The last card that I saw that I really liked that did this was in Phyrexia Obi-Wan, and it was brutal when I saw it.
Yeah. Oh, if there's a lot of sack outlets, it's really painful. We have to go back and see exactly how many of them are common, but this one's you.
Salvo.
Seems good.
A red and under salvo deals X damage to target. X is 2 plus the number of other spells you cast this turn.
Well, so they actually did print a 2 damage instant for 1 in a red, like we were kind of alluding to with the black card. So obviously better with plotting, right?
Yeah, I was literally about to say this makes plotting in red feel a lot better. This is also a common.
I think it's pretty good.
I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a C.
I think it's a C plus. I think it's probably a C plus.
I guess I always hype up Google. Yeah, I guess it's a C.
It's probably a C plus. But you have to be plotting or like in red blue where you're double spelling a bunch or something.
Yeah.
Some cantrips. Right.
A lot of what I've seen in red wants to be fast is my only.
This is interesting. Trick shot, 4 in a red instant, deals 6 damage to target creature and 2 damage to up to 1 other target creature token. So, killing the main baddie and his mercenary henchman is the lore here. Cowering behind your buddy ain't gonna help you, yellow-bellied lowlife. What do you think about this? This is better than most 5-mana removal we see, right? This is an instant and it deals 6. It's above rate. And it can 2 for 1. Something.
I think it's a C. I don't love it.
I think it's probably a C. It might be a little better. A little better than the normal C that this occupies, I think.